Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about Zerora and how strong and powerful this Pokemon is with the new Razor Claw item. You're seeing a lot more Zerora, and there's a good reason for it. It's good. It's fun right now. So let's get in there and talk about it. Here's what we're going to go through today. First, we're going to talk about the moves and the stats, and then we're going to go ahead and show you all of the different moves and how to optimize them for damage. Then we're going to show you guys the best items for Zerora, and then we're going to go ahead and show you some cool gameplay. So stay tuned for all that. If you want to skip around, there's going to be timestamps in the description, and the chapters hopefully will show up as well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we're going to go ahead and show you guys Zerora now. Let's do this. Alright, Zerora is considered expert, and I guess I would agree with that. There's a lot of button smashing and optimization that happens in between the button smashes, I suppose. Melee and Speedster. Speedsters are fundamentally assassins, so you have to think about Zerora as an assassin. By the way, don't click on these. These are my ads, not yours. I do it every time I look back at the videos. Anyway, I love this site, though, for this stuff, for the stats and stuff. So, definitely Speedster. Think assassin. You don't want to be in there for very long because you're going to get eaten. That's why the movesets are the way that they are, and we're going to talk about which ones are best, my opinion, in a second here. So let's look at the, first we'll start by talking about the passive, which is called Volt Absorb. The Pokemon gains an electric charge whenever it receives damage, converting a portion of that damage into an additional attack. As it gets damaged, it does more damage. However, because you have so little health, this is a fairly weak passive as far as Pokemon go. There's a lot of better passives out there. This is not one of the best in my mind. But what I do want to definitely talk about is this basic attack. Becomes a boosted attack with every third, dealing increased damage when it hits. Also paralyzes opposing Pokemon and restores the user's HP. That's nice. So you definitely want to be getting that third auto attack off as much as you possibly can. Good paralyze and restores user HP. You need HP when you're playing an assassin. Whenever you can get it, basically. So let's look at the damage, though. Level 15 basic is 649. That's one of the higher sides. And boosted is 713. That's not very great. It's about the same as the other boosted for a lot of the other Pokemon, like even the special attackers. So it's important to remember that this scales directly off of your attack, and this scales directly off your attack as well with Zeraora, because Zeraora is a attack. It doesn't say here attack style, but they are basic attack based, so they're not special attack. You want to be building up your attack stat, not your special attack stat. Let's go ahead and talk about the what you start with. You start with agility and slash. Generally speaking, if you are going for a lane, you're going to be starting slash. If you're going for for the jungle, you're going to be going agility and using it to hop the wall. Agility has the user perform a quick dash and increases the user's basic attack speed for a short time afterwards. Just, you know, getting across the wall a little bit faster is nice, and having as long as you have items, you can still clear the first camp fast enough before your buff spawns. So agility is a way to start with most times if you're going to be going jungle. It doesn't do anything else for you then. It's got a pretty decently low cooldown, gives you some mobility early on, but you're not going to have it for very long because at level 6, you're going to upgrade one of the following moves, Volt Switch or Spark. I have my preference, but we'll talk about both first. Volt Switch has the user perform a high-speed dash, dealing damage to any opposing Pokemon it hits and increasing the user's basic attack speed for a short time. Using this move again within a period of time will allow the user to immediately dash back to where it originally used the move. It's like a flash forwards, and then if you activate it again before it goes on cooldown, you go back to where you were. The amount of damage at level 15 is not very high, 750. That's the amount for hitting it. The cooldown, though, is what's important, 8 seconds. It's not too bad. And then the important thing to remember is that you're using both. You're using 2 items here, 2 activations with it. You can't scale how far you go with it, so you can't like stack them like you can with like a Z. But it's very similar to a Z kind of style and a feel to it if you play any Pokemon, or I'm sorry, League of Legends, that is to say. I love Volt Switch. I think it's optimized right now. But I do want to talk about Spark. I do want to talk about Spark in particular with one item, and I think it needs some more testing. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But let's talk about Spark now. This is the other option. Has the user leap at an opposing Pokemon while electrically charged, dealing damage to them. If the user uses its basic attack before reaching its target, the user will instead leap at the closest opposing Pokemon, dealing damage to it. This move can be used 3 times before it goes on cooldown. 3 times, 515 apiece is not that bad. The big difference, though, is that you don't get to switch back. This is like a smaller distance dash with more damage to it, but a little bit less utility, and it's not as fast. It's more like a leap through the air that you're chaining rather than a what the Volt Switch is, which is like a boom flash, you know? So that's something to keep in mind. We're going to look at that as we get into the next portion, which is going to be showing you guys the moves and how to optimize them. So Slash is the other ability you get really early on at level 8 at upgrade. Slash has the user pounce at an opposing Pokemon and attack with sharp claws. This move's final attack throws opposing Pokemon up in the air. So 714 per hit, 2142 total. That would be at level 15. You're not going to have this level 15. But it gives you a good indication of the damage that's available. And it's a significant amount of damage available. It really is. It's a good amount of damage to start with. What's really important to keep in mind, though, is that you pounce at the opposing Pokemon. It's a little bit of a gap close. So you have 2 gap closers in a lot of ways early on here, which makes Zeraora a pretty darn decent ganker. Maybe not as good as Absol early. Greninja's pretty good too. There's a few that are really good early. But Zeraora is one of the good ones for sure. Can absolutely close distance really fast with agility, get some autos attack off, wait for them to flash or something, or try to get away from them, and then use Slash to lock them down and knock them up into the air. Very powerful and good for securing kills. A good amount of damage. You upgrade that at level 8 to Discharge or Wild Charge. Discharge is my current favorite, although again I'm doing some testing with Razor Claw because it could change. Razor Claw is interesting. Discharge, however, releases an electric discharge, dealing damage to nearby opposing Pokemon and granting the user a shield when it hits. That's really nice. The shield is really useful for Zeraora because you're squishy. If this move hits opposing Pokemon that are paralyzed, it pulls them in towards the user once the move ends, dealing damage to them once again and leaving them unable to act. So a little bit of a hindrance if you're able to get a paralyze off at some point during this build. I don't know. I'm assuming it would probably scale with Pikachu's Thunderbolt, I think it is. But it definitely does scale with your third attack here that paralyzes and restores HP. So I like Discharge a lot. I think that it's seen some nerfs over time, but I still think it's actually really strong. So about Wild Charge, though. First damage, 451 to 3608. So if you get the full charge out, the full damage potential with the Discharge, it's a lot of damage. And what's important about it is that it's AoE, which makes taking objectives really nice. You can steal objectives pretty decently here with the Zeraora, especially if you use a Discharge and Plasma Gale kind of combination. Your Unite ability can do a lot of damage as well. Wild Charge has a user charge in the designated direction. If this move hits an opposing Pokemon, the user unleashes a combo attack that also deals a set amount of damage to itself. You take some damage to yourself with this attack, kind of like a Brave Bird, kind of like Mr. Talonflame does. If the user hits an opposing Pokemon with Volt Switch, Spark, or boosted attack before using this move, the number of attacks in the combo is increased. So you want to be kind of basically the Spark Wild Charge combination is all about absolutely maximizing your chain of attacks to keep you kind of in motion for as long as possible and deal a steady amount of damage, bop, 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 until you whittle their health down. 3396, that's a good amount of damage at the max side, and again, this will scale with your attack stats, so you can get this up a little bit higher as well. Important to remember that it's not AoE though, so it kind of loses a little bit of the team fight and objective stealing capabilities, but what I want to test a little bit more of is how this synergizes with Razor Claw, which we're going to be talking about soon, and hopefully showing you soon. Unite, Plasma Gale unleashes a blast of lightning, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon in the area of effect and throwing them. This also creates a zone of plasma that increases the user's basic attack range and damage dealt while inside. So Plasma Gale kind of it follows them. That's why it says sure hit over here, and it creates this like plasma zone that you do extra attack and have extra range, which is really nice. And it can hit AoE too. So it's really pretty good. You can do a lot of damage with the Plasma Gale. It combos so well with you, and if you're in there auto-attacking, you want to be in there. You don't want to be using it and running away. You want to be in there and absolutely wrecking with it at the same time. You do a ton of damage, and Zeraora is really good at that. Getting in there, throwing some big damage down, and then popping out before they get turned on. So, all right, let's look at the stats now. Base stats at level 15, 6319. What a weird number. It's one of the strangest numbers I've seen. It's less than Pikachu, I think. If I remember correctly, Pikachu 6600. So pretty squishy. Attack 649, one of the higher attacks in the entire game. That leads to some pretty crazy scaling. Defense 300, not bad. It's not as squishy as some others are, but it's definitely not what I would call tanky. Special attack 118, we don't care about that number too much. Special defense 200, again, we don't care about that too much. Speed slightly slower than the average, or about on average. I see a lot of 3.7s, I see a lot of 3.6s. He's right in the middle of those two, so about average, I'd say, on the speed zone. So not bad defense. I've definitely seen worse. Special defense, again, not bad, but I've definitely seen a lot better. HP, though, not a lot of HP. Not a lot of ability to kind of withstand hits. And that's what's really important about Zeraora and all of the kind of more assassin-y type Pokemon. They're not really meant to be in there fighting for a long time. So, all right, let's get in there and show you all the moves and show you how to optimize those moves for damage. All right, we're loading in here into practice right now just so we can show you guys all the moves. I've brought Eject. I will say that Eject is probably not 100% necessary on Zeraora, but I do still really like it. If you're going to go something else, something that's going to give you a little bit more survivability or something that will let you jump around more, like a full heal, is really useful. Let's show you the jungle path first. You're going to use agility to jump over. You're always going to start agility here if you have items. If you don't have items at all, or really, really weak items, you're going to want to start Slash, or else you won't be able to clear that in time to get to this guy right here. You're going to flash behind him a little bit using your agility so he doesn't stun you, and then you're going to go ahead and just finish him off. Now, I do a little bit of a weird clear. Some people don't like this clear, but this is my favorite way of clearing. I like to go to the craps first. I'm going to do 2 attacks and then go ahead and hit with my Slash to jump back in. Coming this way, I'm saving my agility a little bit until I get a little bit closer because you do get extra attack speed, and then we're going to use Slash to finish him off. One of the things I will note here that I think is very important is that I am, in fact, using Razor Claw, which is one of the best items right now on any of the assassins, and it's going to really increase my damage going in there. So that was a really nice level 5, and we're set to go. Let's look at agility, jumping through, no damage, okay? Agility doesn't do any damage for you. We're level 5. We're going to show you, let's start with 1 auto attack. I have Muscle Band on, so there's Muscle Band damage as well. 259, the rest was Muscle Band damage, which is pretty crazy. Man, there's a crit. Good crit right there. And that's what Zeraora is all about. Zeraora is all about getting those crits and about having damage on auto attack. So you're looking at anything that's going to boost your auto attack damage fundamentally. Here's Slash going in there. Combo, knock up right there. Total damage 1173. That's pretty darn strong at level 5. Let's see. How much do I have? How much health do I have at level 5? 3550. So, I mean, that'd be without resistances, but it's a lot of damage just immediately. But so what you're kind of going to notice here is that your combination is typically going to be something like catching up with them with an agility, a couple. They create some distance, and then you jump in there. You give them the full combination, and that's a full Pokemon's worth of damage right there, along with some good hindrance. So, although it's important to remember, I also have some buffs on right now, which are also adding to that damage. So let's wait for that to go off. That's a good call. 1173. Okay, it was the auto attacks it was affecting. 259 is the basic attack damage right there, so at level 5. So the point is, you've got some really good damage early on. We're going to start with Volt Switch. We're going to start with my favorite combination, which is Volt Switch right there. Not much damage, but that's the good part about Volt Switch. I was able to bring it back through them twice, 750 damage total. But the real thing is just the mobility that you get with a Volt Switch is pretty crazy. You can use it to dodge. You can use it to get out of tough situations. You can use it for a lot of reasons. And then also, look at, I have a Ninja Razor Claw, right? 1 activation Razor Claw, 2 activations of Razor Claw. I get 2 activation Razor Claws. So with the crit there, I did 2,858 damage. Let's let this reset. I want to look at it from completely fresh. 1, back through, another one. 2183 without a crit. That is 1 ability at level 6 and 2 auto attacks. Yeah. So your combination really is going to be something like 1 auto in there, maybe back, auto. Depends on a little bit on how far away they are, but you want to be getting an auto in between all of your abilities if you're trying to maximize your damage using Razor Claw. Razor Claw is fundamentally a must-have for this Pokemon. So something like that would be okay too. The point is you're just trying to make sure that you're using that auto reset sort of. You're trying to use an ability and then auto attack in between that. 4-2, 4-1 for 1 set of attacks basically. So let's go ahead and bop up a little bit. Let's get to Discharge. I like Discharge Volt Switch. This is my personal favorite. I think that using Discharge depends on how you're going to be playing this. I don't mind going in, auto attack, discharge, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, jumping back if we need to. You saw how I got the 3rd auto attack for the stun there, the paralyze, then allowed me to pull them in with Discharge. And look at the hindrance length there. Look what that hindrance length is considered right there. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 14,000 damage. That may have been 2 sets, though. Yeah, it definitely was. Let's wait for that to reset. Let's look at 1 combo here. Let's say you're coming out from, they flashed away. You're chasing up with them. 1. There you go. That'd be like basically a full combo. 6,000 damage at level 8. At level 8, my total health pool is 4122. I'd say that's pretty good. All right, let's look at the, you don't get your ult until 10, but your ult is good. Let's go ahead and just use it all on its own so you can kind of see what it is. First of all, range, not that big. Keep that in mind. This isn't like a Lucario ult, but once you have it, it's going to follow them even if they run away. Get a little bit of a knock up. They're paralyzed for a period of time. 1837 damage, right? 1837. So we're going to go over here and just kind of reset move cooldowns. I'm going to show you basically what a full combo would be like with this guy. 1, 2, 3, ult. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there you go. 15,000 damage, and I still had more time of that ult going. So it's a lot of damage. It's a significant amount of damage right there. Definitely important to keep in mind. So your auto attacks are where you're getting most of your damage from, and you're going to be basically utilizing that to the best of your ability every time. Ooh, yeah, like a 1,000 damage crit right there is pretty big at a level 10. That's going to be about 5%, or not 5%, 20% of anybody's health that you're going to be possibly be facing against right there. If you can see your Volt Switch, it's probably a good idea to talk about Volt Switch cooldown, honestly, because that's a big deal right there. So Volt Switch has a pretty long cooldown. It's usable for a period of time that's pretty significant. Let's hop in there, get this going, back out. So not bad. And you want to get really familiar with the cooldown on your Volt Switch, because what Volt Switch is going to be doing for you, it's going to be allowing you to get some pretty nasty plays out there. So that was just too long, you know, but I could have done it with less of a dump right there. So let's see this. Ready? You can go in, we can get in there and Volt Switch back out. And then that's going to be stuff like that. That quick side-to-side movement where you're able to make a lot of damage and a lot of things happen really fast is what Zerora is all about. So let's show you the other build path, though, which is going to be Spark and Wild Charge. Alrighty, here we are. We're going to be doing basically the same thing. I'll show you the other build. I'll show you the other jungle path. I'll show you the more common jungle path to see right now. Again, it's not my favorite. I really don't like this one, but this is what most people will do. And it's important for you guys to know that as well. So since Zerora is mainly a jungler, and I do think that that's the right call, I'll show you the other one as well. Just make sure that when you're using your agility, you're using it to kind of stop, if you can, get behind them and avoid their stun. This is how most people go. Most people go down to the bottom. I'm going to proc that. Then jump in. And they'll do 1 buff to 2 buffs. And then clear from there. And then they'll go to this one. They almost always, using this, they almost always end up at the top lane together. Because regardless of what side you're pushing at, it just always seems like they're always going to end up at the top lane. It's a good fast clear. It's about the same speed as the other one was. And you're here and you have two, you have both of your what are they called? Buffs ready to go. What I don't like about it, the reason why I like to go the other way, is that your buffs are a little bit closer to being off right now. And I like to have them. I would like to have at least 1 buff completely fresh. So it's not a big deal. The buffs last long enough that either build path is fine. I just like to go the other build path. It feels more circular to me, and it feels like it gives me more of an option to go where I want to go, as opposed to where I have to go. So let's look at Spark, though. So Spark is a little bit different. Spark has multiple charges, right? And so you can use Spark just to go 1, 2, and 3. You're unstoppable for that period of time. I traveled a good amount of distance, but did you see how slow it was compared to Volt Switch? It's really, really slow compared to Volt Switch. Now, if you use an auto attack while you're in the air, you go in and kind of connect and attack with the closest person. You can see their total damage, 3813. That's a lot of damage. And if you're really paying attention, look at that bottom right. Yep. Every time I'm doing that, I'm using up those charges of Razor Claw. And so although I really do think the Volt Switch is just so utilitarian and really hard to beat, I must say that this is pretty impressive as well. The amount of damage possible is probably higher using a Spark because of that constant amount of damage coming from your Razor Claw. If you're using Razor Claw, which I think is almost a necessity for this Pokemon. So I know people don't really use that as often, but goodness me, it just feels like it's so strong. It feels like there's so much potential damage with Spark that we might be playing Zeraora all wrong. But it's so hard to say that because, like I said, Volt Switch is just so much utility, and it's fast and it's hard to dodge. It's hard to get away from him when he has this. But let's look at this total combo amount that you can actually do here when you're using Zeraora with Spark Wild Charge. So let's give it a second, and then I'll show you Wild Charge on its own, and then I'll show you the combination. So there's Wild Charge. You want to be auto attacking after Wild Charge. That'd be your combo. 3069, pretty good. So we had about 3,000 damage from Sparks kind of combinations, and about 3,000 from Wild Charge right there. You do a little bit of damage to yourself. Let's show you the total combination now with all the procs that we can get of our extra ability there. Boom, 8697. That's at level 8, and that would be using all of our Sparks, all of our Wild Charge, as well as all of the ninja, what are they called? Shoot, my bad, guys. The Razor Claw right there. But yeah, 8,000 damage. A couple crits in there, some autos in there, Sparks being used, and then altering out. It's like the Spark to the auto attack does use that Razor Claw, which is really nice. So even just those alone at level 8 are 4,000 damage. And then Wild Charge, you'll see here, has the Razor Claw, but you need to auto afterwards in order to use it. You need to be autoing fast, too, because that cooldown, the amount of Wild Charge that is happening is just about enough to have you on cooldown for it. So it's really pretty cool. It's a lot of damage. There's a stun. Wild Charge out, and then if you're getting that auto attack on, 5, 7, 6, 8, pretty strong, man. Pretty darn strong. It's so hard to tell which one's going to be more beneficial, but what I can say is just that they're both really strong right now. I think that if you're playing with Razor Claw, which you probably should be, there's probably a way to make this 100% work. Yeah. I mean, we took about half damage right there. Half our health got eaten away by that, but we were fairly untargetable for a long period of time. I don't think it did it as fast, though. It's almost like Spark's really great, and it does a lot more damage, but it feels like it does it slower. I think that in the right team comp, you could definitely do some pretty good stuff, comboing everything together. Because I could go for a Wild Charge and still have another set of Spark up. So it's so hard to tell what's going to be more beneficial. Personally, I still like the mobility and the availability of Discharge and Discharge and Volt Switch more. But let's get into some the best items and then some gameplay for you. All right, now Zerora's best items. Aos Cookie, no. Score Shield, maybe if you're going lane Zeraora, maybe Score Shield's okay. I don't generally recommend it. Attack weight, not bad. Maybe if you're going a lane Zeraora build, you might be able to get away with the Score Shield attack weight and then some crits from some other places. But I'm going to tell you, Zerora's kind of, their hands kind of held behind their backs with this one. We're going to get to them quickly, but special attack specs, never. Muscle Band, yeah. This is almost a must. It's just, it's like, you basically need it. You could maybe get away with some other off-meta builds that don't use it, but 9 times out of 10, Zeraora is going to be bringing in Muscle Band. Why? Your auto-attack-based Pokemon. That 3% of opposing Pokemon's remaining health is really good. The basic attack speed is phenomenal. You're almost all auto-attack. If you use Spark, maybe you would use your auto-attacking slightly less, but I still think it still counts as an auto-attack when you're using your Spark to jump to people, so you still want this. It's just so much damage. So much damage potential with Muscle Band, the attack speed, the extra attack flat. I just think Muscle Band is a must-have for Zerora's 9 times out of 10. Scope Lens, again, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have this. Why? Crit hit rate. You're all about the critical hits. Crit hit damage. You're all about the critical hits. So if you want the 1,200, 1,400, 2,000 critical damage hits on the squishy Pokemon that you're supposed to be assassinating, you need Scope Lens. Scope Lens is almost a must-have for any ever assassin Pokemon, and Zeraora is one of the best, so you need Scope Lens here. Wise Glasses, never in a million years. Shell Bell, please don't. Energy Amplifier, possible? But why? There's just so many better ones here. that are way closer to must-haves. That unless your energy amplifier is level 30 and nothing else is, I don't think I would go for this. But that being said, you do a lot of damage after you use your ult. You do. So energy amplifier is possible here. Probably just depends on the other things you have available for you. Razor Claw is so close to a must right now that it's basically a must right now. I don't want to say that you must have it, but you must have it. I don't want to say it, though, but you really must have Razor Claw. It's going to depend maybe on... you don't need it, but it's pretty close to a need. It's going to increase your damage by such a significant amount, especially if you're going for a Spark. If you're going Spark and Wild Charge without Razor Claw, I think you're playing wrong. If you're not, though, if you're going Volt Switch Discharge, maybe you can get away with it. You can do enough damage without it, but I think that generally speaking, Razor Claw is a 100% must-have for all assassins right now, and Zerora is no different. For Zerora, with the Volt Switch Discharge play, this is the one you could probably switch out. You basically can never switch out Muscle Band Scope Lens, but maybe you could switch out the Razor Claw here. Choice specs, please don't make me laugh. Rocky Helmet, come on. Focus Band, never on Zerora. It's just... Focus Band's pretty okay on most Pokemon, and if this is what you had, and your Muscle Band and Scope Lens were level 1, then you probably, A, don't really play Zerora much, but B, then I guess you can use a Focus Band. It's not the worst ever. It's basically usable on any Pokemon. Assault Vest, no. Weakness Policy, no. I mean, you sit here and you want to say, hey, this increases your attack, and it does. I think there may be a play using Weakness Policy and Volt Switch. Weakness Policy and Spark. Because you are kind of scaling up your damage with your passive while you're sparking there. So there might be a play there with Weakness Policy and Spark. But I really don't think the Weakness Policy is very good because it's all about taking damage, right? And you really don't want to take much damage as Zerora. You take too much damage and you die. There's a play here with Weakness Policy. I just don't think it's a very common one. It's definitely not meta. Experiment at your own risk. But if you're damaging yourself, and that's going to stack Weakness Policy for you, there is a play here. But I just don't think that it's as much damage as some of the other plays you can make. So, Leftovers, nope. And Float Stone, yeah, Float Stone's very viable on Zerora. If you don't have maybe Razor Claw leveled up nicely. The increased movement speed is really great for Zerora. Base attack is great. And yeah, Zerora can absolutely get value out of Float Stone. Buddy Barrier is just universally a good item. And if it's what you had, it's what you could use with Zerora, but I don't think it's optimized at all. XP shared, please don't make me laugh. Okay, let's get into some gameplay then, and I'll show you guys some Zerora. Let's do this. Alrighty, we're able to get in here and select ourselves the center area. We're bringing in full heal. I didn't talk about this before, but which ones are viable here? X attack is somewhat viable. X speed's okay. Fluffy Tail can be really good, especially in higher elos. Eject button is always a steady choice. Goal Getter is not very good for Zerora. Slow Smoke, never. Full Heal, no. And if you're using Potion, I think you're not playing the game correctly. Right, Charizard? I mean, I think that if that's what you have, that's one thing. But really, Potion's not particularly good on any of them. It's a little bit of a boost to... It can save you from time to time, but it really just isn't generally the way to go. We're using Full Heal right here because it's going to stop us from getting locked down. And hopefully allow us to get a little bit more mobility out. This is my second time ever playing with Full Heal, though, so please have some patience if I don't use it to the optimal capabilities. It's a little bit tough for me at this point to understand when I should be using it. I did call mid. Let's see if we're able to get mid. There's a Greninja, there's a Garchomp, there's a Charizard. All these guys might try to go in there and take mid. We're just going to do our best either way. Looking at the enemy team, we've got some squishies we can probably make some moves off of. If we're smart, we can outplay Mr. Mime. Ninetales we can totally eat if we can avoid some of their slows and pushbacks. Gengar is just kind of a loose cannon. You never know how a Gengar is going to do. We've got a couple potions on our team and then some other stuff, so it's hard to say who is where in terms of leveling, but we're going to go right for that mid and start our jungle path. We're going to do our jungle path, the jungle path I really like here, even if it's not necessarily the best. And let's see. Hopefully nobody comes in here and tries to steal my stuff. That'd be good. There's currently 3 people on bot. I'm going to change up my pathing. I'm gonna go the standard path thing because of how many people there are right now on bot side. I'm worried that it's gonna. Did that really cancel my freaking slash? That's so annoying, man. That's gonna slow down my clear a little bit. Because of how many people are currently on bot, I feel like this guy at top's gonna be pushed in, and it might give me an opportunity to have a good gank at level 5. I don't know. It's gonna depend on a couple things. I don't know what this Charizard's doing. I don't know why there's 3 people bot, but. Are you serious? That's weird that that pulled me back. But it's whatever. We did fine. We got what we needed from it. And we're going to just kind of keep playing the game here. That's a shame that I died. We did okay. I was trying to not die and also get those kills. You need to go dunk, Becca. Becca, go dunk. And then we're going to go, no, 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 no. Get the heck out of Dodge, man. You're not the jungler. He's going to go steal my other jungle, but it's whatever. It's okay. We'll make it work. Nicely done by Squirtle right there. Squirtle's now War Turtle. And I think we're probably in a good position to get some good damage going. We're here for the next sort of mid spawn. We're watching. How is he unstoppable ever? Oh yeah, that was good. Whew. Okay, I want to go back actually and get health. I'm really hoping that this we might actually take this too real quick. And we might take this as well. Hopefully they're not on that. I don't know if they are or aren't. We got 3 people top, so that's not great. Or 2 people top. But we're going to try to grab this and then go and get ready to fight for this Dreadnought. We're pretty strong. Nicely done. We're going to try to clear this out as fast as I can. Okay. Out. Out. No! Destroyed, son. Nice. We totally outplayed that dude. This dude's going for my jungle. We're going to try to take it, honestly. Because I'm the jungler, and I'm a greedy guy. I mean, I don't hate it, honestly, because I am the jungler. I'm good with this stuff. I'm an assassin, which makes me extra good with this type of stuff. I'm trying to get my ult back up so we can fight with it. I think that it's not a bad thing for me to be taking stuff right now. There you go. Good stuff right there. trying to just get in here and eat people up right now. You have 50 points. Is he going to let me? He's not going to let me. Nice. I got my 50 points. That's really good. All right, we got to get to bot now. Oh, there's so many points up here, though. There really is. Holy crap. Okay. We're going to just grab as much of this as possible. Is this guy going to try to dunk? Yeah, he tried. He wanted to. We're watching this guy. He comes out off the bottom. Okay. Man, I didn't kill him. We're gonna try. Would love to get this big 50 points dunked. Multiple people with 50 points. I get it. Very nice. All right, ult. Ult up is next goal. We're going to go ahead, clear this as fast as we can, and then basically just try to get back in time to get some stuff from the jungle. We're going to be level 15. Where are we at right now? 10 and 7. Phenomenal game overall. Don't really care too much if it hits me. We just really want to get everything up that we can. Good job from our guys on bot lane right there. And there's Zeraora, not doing quite as well as we are right now. We're in a good position here. We got everything up. And we're level 15. We need to stop farming. And just get in a position where we can... accept their unconditional surrender. Nice. Okay, well played. 410 to 0. This was not bots. This was standard. This wasn't ranked, but not bad. I would have to say, not bad at all. We didn't get number 1. That dude did really well, though. Good amount of points scored and 10 and 9, same as me. But yeah, I think we did a really good job of showing some of the power and mobility of Zerora, comboing those auto attacks in between stuff, and then just absolutely destroying using a mixture of mobility and lockdown. So there you go. Good game right there. Good game. I played a lot of Zeraora, and it's very uncommon that you don't have a positive KDR right now. So, all right, GG, well played. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something. See you guys next time. Peace out.